Perfect. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're going to go ahead and start today's meeting. I'm going to start by reading our virtual meeting disclaimer. We're calling to order, so good afternoon. Due to the Governor's order, all members of the Public Assembly Facilities Commission are participating virtually. For the virtual meeting, Commission members will be muted until asked to be heard. At that time, they will be recognized and will be unmuted. When there is a vote, it will be necessary to take a roll call vote. A Commission member will be recognized and will raise their hand and state their vote. Today's meeting is a public meeting. Citizens can listen into the meeting if they contacted the city manager's office to make the necessary arrangements. The meeting will also be live streamed on the city's YouTube channel. A recording of today's meeting will be available on Friday, July 23rd, 2021 on the city's website. Again, thank you everyone for joining today. We will start with a roll call.
All right, Haley.
Present.
Otis.
Present.
Billy.
Present.
Jim.
Here.
Manya.
Here.
Kathleen. That's not here. Vicky. Not here. Lisa Strout. Not here. And Ray Bowden. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Rachel. We'll start with the approval of the minutes from the May meeting, or should this be the?
Oh, it should be from the June meeting.
From the June meeting. Okay, I may have the wrong agenda pulled up, but if we could get a motion for the approval of the June meeting minutes.
And I did make a correction. The date was wrong on the minutes that I sent out, so a correction has been made to those. I just pointed that out. So.
Move for approval.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. Is there any question? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call vote for this motion.
Manya. Is that an approve?
Approve, I'm sorry.
Billy.
Approve.
Jim.
Approve.
Otis.
Approved.
Haley.
Approved.
Thank you.
Thank you all. That motion carries. Rachel, I believe I have the wrong agenda pulled up. We can go to the first agenda item if you can let me know what that is.
Okay, yeah, our first agenda item is the approval of 2020 Carolina Classic Fair entertainment contract, and I believe Robert's going to be taking that.
Thank you.
Robert, you're muted.
Larry must have done that to me. Thank you, Chair Jingles and Public Assembly Facilities Commission. The action request we have is an adoption of resolution approving entertainment and attraction agreements, or just this one agreement for the 2021 Carolina Classic Fair. The only one we have here is Walker Hayes and Cooper Allen, and this would be our Tuesday night grandstand show. We've already approved Monday's show, which is Color Me Bad and Tag Team presented by QMG. This is Tuesday night would be Walker Hayes and Cooper Allen. It's presented by WPAW 93.1 The Wolf. This would be our country night. And then Wednesday night, we still don't have acts confirmed. We're still working on that with the radio station. But for this one, it'll be $12,500 for those two artists. And that is the resolution we're looking for approval on.
What kind of act is this again?
This is our Tuesday night country show.
Okay, sure.
So it's mostly music?
Go ahead, Jim.
Is it mostly music?
Yeah, it is all music. It's a concert.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's for the concert. Otis, did you have something?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Any further questions, commission members? If there are no further questions, could I get a motion to approve the Carolina Classic Fair entertainment contract?
So moved.
Motion to approve?
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. A motion has been made and properly seconded. We will take this vote by roll call.
Manya,
Approved.
Billy,
Approved.
Jim,
Approved.
Otis,
Approved.
and Haley.
Approved.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. We will go ahead to our staff updates and start with Bowman Gray Stadium improvements.
Okay, I'll start out and let Robert fill in if where I missed some details. But so the east side buildings have been completed for some time now. The restroom facility and the concession stand have been in operation since the start of racing. There's been a lot of progress made on the west side facilities. I think both the buildings have a roof on them. And so I think we're still on track for those facilities to go online, hopefully by the start of football season, if not by the first game, then certainly by the second game. So moving forward there, there's been work done inside the field house. Not only the HVAC has been replaced, but also the flooring on the level hallway that leads to the athletics department offices, as well as the flooring in the Richardson room is in the process of being replaced. So some updated improvements there. The field has been planted. We're watering it regularly, so we feel good about that. It's really held up well through the races up to this point. So I think we'll be in good shape there. So really, everything's progressing, and the last major improvement that it will remain, it will be the resurfacing of the track, and that'll occur after football season, probably in late October, early November. Depends on if Winston-Salem State makes the playoffs, which we hope they will. So it'll probably be maybe sometime in November, but that'll be the last of the improvements to the stadium. So, if any time you all would be interested in touring the place, I'd be happy to arrange that for you. I know we're going to talk about later on here in the meeting about the return to in-person meetings, and one thought there could be that maybe for your August meeting, if you wanted to meet at Bowman Gray for your meeting, and we could give you a tour of the stadium, because there's a lot I think for you all to be proud of, a lot to show off. I mean, we've got brand new seat back chairs there in front of the West Press Box. So and I'll tell you, to be honest with you, we pressure washed the entire bowl, and just that by itself, we've gotten a lot of compliments on how spruced up the stadium looks. So anyway, we'll talk about that here in a moment. Any questions?
How have the crowds been? How have the crowds been for racing?
Sure. So opening night, we had a huge turnout. I mean, we were maxed out on all of our parking facilities. Since then, I think it's been steady crowds, good crowds. I mean, Robert, do you have an estimate, 7,000 to 8,000 maybe a night?
Yeah. So I mean, from our perspective, for the 5 races we've held, our average is right about 8,500. With obviously, like Ben said, that first race, I think we had somewhere around 12, 13,000 there.
Wow.
Big number.
Thanks.
Yeah. Any other questions about the project?
We haven't had a parking problem, have we?
So the first night, I think we had adequate facilities, and we have activated Forest Park, which is south of the stadium, and it's been activated, so it's available but there hasn't been any real usage of that lot yet. We anticipate that we'll have a large crowd this coming weekend because it rained out Saturday. So the rain checks, people will bring their rain checks for this weekend, and we certainly anticipate that the closing night race will be huge because that's when the points, championships will be decided. And so we feel like with Forest Park, that we should have the parking we need. I mean, it is a concern of the Winston-Salem Speedway management team. So we're trying to brainstorm other options. We certainly want to try to make sure people are aware that Forest Park is available. And so, Robert and I literally, minutes before this meeting, talked about perhaps an idea of, providing some kind of concession coupon to folks if they park down there, just to at least make them aware, at least initially, that this area is available for parking. So it's something that we're looking at, particularly for the remaining, couple races where we think we might have large crowds.
Have we ever considered looking at or thinking about some type of shuttle system? Because, they're senior citizens and people who have problem walking. There may not be enough handicap spaces.
I'm sorry, Billy, what were you suggesting?
Possibly of some type of shuttle system. Because some of the, it may not be enough handicap spaces. People may have to park so far away. Sure.
Well, it's a bit of a balancing act for us. I'll just be honest, with the commission members. We're trying to, we certainly want to make sure that people are not discouraged from coming to the events, but at the same time, we have to balance the expenses that we incur as the city to operate the stadium. And so a shuttle is not something that we've looked at this point. Really, other than the opening night race, and even then there wasn't any real usage of Forest Park. There really hasn't been a need for it because the east lot, the west lot, the south lots have all been adequate in the Armory. When we having the U.S. Army allow us to use the Armory lot has been a huge benefit to us.
There is also a drop-off area in the south lot. So if there are handicapped folks, they can drop off once the lot is full. And I will say a couple years ago, Winston-Salem State did offer a shuttle that ran from their parking lots. We did see a lot more folks walk than actually took the shuttle. So that's just another note of reference.
Any other questions about the project or about the season so far? I think the first football game is it September 4th? Is that right?
Yeah, September 4th.
September 4th. It's an evening game. So we've already had an initial meeting with the athletics staff about start our planning for that, and excited about football season.
Thank you, Ben. We can go ahead to Bowman Gray racing season.
Yeah, I'll just piggybacking Ben. I think we covered a lot of it. The attendance has been really good. We just had our first rain out this past Saturday. I think after the first lap was completed, the bottom fell out, and they ended up calling the race. It was quite a bit of rain in a short period of time. And other than that, with the construction project going on and racing, I think it's been pretty smooth overall. And I don't know if anyone has any other specific questions to racing.
Thank you, Robert. The fairgrounds operations.
Yeah, I'll jump in, keep going on fairgrounds operations. So as we've talked about, we've pretty much been open here since kind of that middle end point of May. We've had maybe 10 events since then. We've just hosted our third concert this past weekend with Switchfoot, which is kind of a rock Christian alternative group. Had about 1,000 people in attendance. And we also hosted one of our last, I think, drive-through movie or drive-in movies was this past Friday with Star Wars. There was about 60 cars maybe here. So I think we're coming towards the end of the drive-in movie out here. I think there's one more scheduled event, and then the fellow who runs that will be going away. And we'll have one more concert coming through before September. Actually, we'll have two concerts. One which is Mother's Finest, which is a African-American rock group, on August 13th, and then we'll host Montgomery Gentry on September 11th. And then we'll kind of start gearing up for the fair. So as we roll into our first Carolina Classic Fair, I can tell you we'll go on sale with our advance sale tickets on August 2nd. And then we'll start pushing that really hard with our advertising and marketing campaign August 16th. That'll be pretty wide open all the way through the start of the fair, October 1st. Also new this year, we started a partnership with the Winston-Salem Dash, where they will be a third-party ticket outlet for us. So we will actually set up our staff and tickets in their team store for baseball games and just regular Monday through Saturday days of the week, for folks to come by. Not only fair tickets and fair rides, but we'll also have some fair and fairgrounds merchandise, some t-shirts, hats, and stuff. So kind of making another, I guess, niche of merchandise that usually we haven't sold in advance. You can only buy it at the fair, but I think we got a good partnership to maybe sell some extra merch to the community for those folks who will be at the baseball games. And other than that, I think, fair-wise, not to speak on Charlotte's behalf, but I think we'll be in good shape. We have brought on Appalachian Mountain Brewery to build the beer garden in the fairgrounds for the fair. They will build it for us, and we will sell the beer, and we will have more information on that for you all next month. As far as the other location, the Grandstand Beer Garden, we will house with local breweries. We'll probably have Fiddlin' Fish in there. And we're working on conversations with other local downtown breweries to kind of fill up the grandstand selection. So that's coming along quite nice. And other than that, I think we'll be in good shape to have a good fair.
Hey, Robert, have we looked at any other ticket outlets in Northwest North Carolina?
No. So all of our ticket outlets over, I'd say, the last 10 years have slowly kind of gone away because our ticketing has become digital. So you can buy a digital ticket from anywhere. So once kind of we went, Walmart back in, I think, like 2016 was a big outlet of ours, which you could buy at any Walmart. And then that partnership ended, and then we still do a handful of smaller places. I think we go up to Stokes County, to some of those trade companies. There's a candle making factory up there, and I think Van Houston is one, and we still have some good company relationships with as far as purchasing in advance, but most of it is it's all digital. So the purpose of the Dash piece is really to promote the fair at the same time. So it was more of a partnership sponsorship opportunity where we're going to take advantage of that partnership and be on site for their baseball games and hope that, that casual fan who's there is going to say, hey, I'll just buy my ticket while I'm here at the baseball game. So I hope that answers your question. In the past, we would consign tickets, and we don't really consign tickets anymore.
Thank you, Robert. Any other questions about fairgrounds operations or the fair? We'll move on to the Benton.
Good afternoon, everybody. The Benton, just like Robert, obviously when the governor changed the order, did see an uptick. In the last 2 months, we did 78% of our revenue for the year in the last 2 months. So we did 135,000 in revenue in May, and then we did right at 102,000 in June. So we did 27 events in the last quarter. We saw almost 6,000 people through the building in the last quarter. Most of that was the homeschoolers, was a big chunk of the attendees. But we're starting to see the fall come back together. We're going to be right at budget for July, so we're pleased with that. People are excited about meeting, and now we just have to get people back to work. Any questions anybody has on the Benton? I'll be glad to help.
When you said that you'll be back on the budget for July, which budget? I know you had a tricky thing to do to prepare budgets as we were heading to hopefully toward a relief from COVID restrictions and things like that. When did you prepare that budget to sort of hit, and sort of what was your thoughts on the July one?
Well, when we wrote the budget, we started back in, I guess it was usually February and March, and then we finalized one up with Ben, and I think it was approved through the commission sometime in May. We kind of saw the fall about 25% back. So July, we had budgeted right at $35,000. We're going to come in at like $39,000 for July. So we're right there. I think we were a little, I believe that we will exceed September, just from what I'm hearing from all the groups. The Eastern Star, which is one of our largest groups, is talking about having 1,000 people for lunch and dinner the second weekend of September. So I with the locals, we just booked the Goodwill industry. So I think to answer your question, we were more conservative in the first half of the year, but I believe we're not going to be back where we were in 2019, but it's going to take a while to build back there.
Yeah. Are you hearing positive things from your peers at other facilities across the state and the region that they're starting to see more bookings coming? I mean, I would think that would be the case, but certainly the ramp up of that's going to take some time.
The issue that most of our peers are having, and it's just like every restaurant in Winston-Salem has, is just getting people to work. And that's going to be our next obstacle. We're starting to look for folks now, but if you don't have work now, it makes it even harder. And you can't bring them on a day before they're going to work. And then we relied a lot on temp labor, and because of the ups and downs of the business, and they have a hard time getting labor as well. So it's tough in the industry right now, but I think once the unemployment money ends, I think it ends the end of July, that should help. It's either July or August. I might be wrong.
Grant, do you also want to update us on the Grand Pavilion and the Conference Center?
I'll start. I went over there today. They've everything's pretty much demoed. They've done some repair on the walls, doing some lighting submittals now. I know that the carpet's ordered, the accent lighting is ordered. So I think it's going to move along pretty quickly. I met with someone today about changing out the Grand Pavilion name on the lollipop sign that's outside of the space. So I think we can do that pretty quickly and get that up with the new name of the ballroom there. And I guess Ben will unveil that. Here we go. Or somebody will. The gallery ballroom. So the new gallery ballroom will open mid-September. And we're excited. We're actually showing this off today down at a trade show in Wilmington, the AENC trade shows down there today. So talking about the new ballroom. And, you know, it was a collaboration with Visit Winston-Salem. And you might ask, how did the gallery ballroom get its name? And you know, the Benton, we like to call it, it's the largest art gallery in Winston-Salem downtown, you know, so we have all the art here. And so where do you see art? And that's in a gallery. So I thought it was a pretty neat name. And this gets us away from the Grand Pavilion name. We wanted to change that just to get that image away more for the local customer than the group customer.
And just to add to that, as you can see, we're saying at the Benton. So we are not referring to the conference center space as a different name or some annex of the Benton. We look at the whole space as the Benton. So we're really excited about this logo and this concept.
Exactly. That's why we want to get that sign outside of the space. We want to put the Benton logo there. So as you're driving down Cherry Street, you know, the Benton starts there and goes all the way to the 6th Street. So, you know, we pretty much are covering from mid between 4th and 5th now. We start there all the way to 6th Street. And I will tell you, the bookings are, you know, people are excited about the space. I did book Goodwill Industries down there in November.
Good deal. Thank you, Grant, for that update. We'll move on to the WSSU request to install a statue of Bill Hayes.
Yes. So last month, you all had recommended the naming of the football field at Bowman Gray Stadium after Coach Hayes. That item will go to council in August for first consideration by the Community Development Housing General Government Committee and then by full council. But in addition to that, the athletics department had reached out to the city staff, and they're very interested in installing a statue of Coach Hayes in the first floor of the Bowman Gray Stadium field house, just right there inside the main entrance. And so an item went to the Public Art Commission because this would be, considered public art in a city facility. It went to the Public Art Commission last month or earlier this month, I think, for their review. They asked a lot of great questions, about who owns the statue and who'd be responsible for maintaining the statue, and based on the city attorney's office and staff's review, the university would own the statue and be responsible for maintenance. But I don't have a rendering to share with you all at this point. I think the athletics director is still working on that. They have that. The university has identified an artist who will create the statue, and also the university will be raising the funds to pay for it. I think they're looking to alumni and former players to raise the money for the statue. So this item will also be going to council based on the recommendation of the Public Art Commission in August. But I wanted to definitely share that with you all. I think at some point, perhaps during the football season, there will be, I think, some kind of a recognition of Coach Hayes and unveiling the name of the field and the statue. So we'll make sure that you all are aware of that. Any questions? Okay.
Thank you for that, Ben. Let's talk about, lastly, the return to in-person meetings.
Okay, so just to share with you all as an appointed commission of the City Council, the mayor and council are planning to resume in-person meetings in August. They'll be meeting in the City Council's chamber, even for committees, so that they will facilitate still some spacing for those meetings. But the plan is for the council to start meeting in person in August. And so the direction that staff is giving to the other appointed boards and commissions to look to plan to start resuming in-person meetings in August. I'm not sure exactly when the governor may be rescinding the state of emergency declaration. But according to the city attorney's office, when he does that, then we have to go back to in-person meetings. The state of emergency declaration allows for the virtual meetings, obviously because of the pandemic and the need for social distancing. But with that declaration going away, then there's no basis really for continuing virtual meetings. So that's kind of our plan, and I would certainly want your feedback for how you feel about resuming in-person meetings. But I will just say that again, when the governor rescinds the state of emergency declaration, then we will be going back to in-person. And as I mentioned earlier, if we move forward with in-person meetings, for August, then I know I've got some feedback from members of the commission about, well, could we possibly meet at Bowman Gray so that there would be an opportunity to tour, the stadium and see the improvements, and we definitely can do that. Would love to show off, what's been done so far.
Thanks, Ben. My 2 cents is I'm fine with meeting in person.
Okay. We will definitely keep you informed, kind of, as we get closer to August about definite plans for what we'll do on the 16th.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Any questions for Ben on returning or any of the other items, agenda items for today? Well, hearing none, we will, our announcement for our next meeting is going to be the August 16th meeting. And of course, we'll send out information about whether that will be in person and all the details for that. Again, thank you all for joining us today and doing your part for this commission. We really appreciate it. And with that, we are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thanks.